Hey y'all, I'm back with another 12 days of DIY, and this time I'm going to be creating cork embellishments. So I'm starting with this adhesive backed cork that I got from Joann's, and I'm starting with a variety of stamps. The first round, I'm just going to take stamps and use pigment ink. This first one is Hero Arts Unicorn ink, which I've been using a lot lately. And I'm just going to simply stamp the entire page full of different images. And I have different stamp sets here. The first one I use is one of the Kelly Perky label stamp sets that I got from Michaels. It also came with dies. That second one is a Technique Tuesday stamp set, I believe. Maybe like something Allie Edwards designed. I can't really remember for sure. This other one is a Neat and Tangled stamp set. And it's got some really good solid colors on there, or solid images, I'm sorry. And then now I've moved to the VersaFine ink. Do have to put a little bit more on there because it's less saturated than the white is, but I kind of like that because I think it the impression is really good with the black. I think it's good with the white too, but sometimes the white ink does get a little too saturated. And then lastly, I just used a snowflake stamp, and I'm going to set those aside to let them to dry. For the second portion of this, I'm going to punch a bunch of shapes from different punches that I have. Like I have a cloud punch, I have different size circle ones, I have a scallop punch, which I'm using right now. And you'll see that when I'm punching these, that it looks like there's little pieces of cork or frayed pieces that are like hanging off that I'm gonna have to trim off, but that's actually the backing. So it's not messing up the cork piece, it's just the adhesive part is kind of torn a little bit. Whenever I punch those, it just didn't get a very good, it just didn't punch through the adhesive as good as I would have liked it to, but it doesn't really matter because the adhesive is going to come off. It in no way affected the cork itself or the embellishment itself. I'm taking different stamp sets, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create some different, I guess a variety of images here, or a variety of embellishments. I'm using I'm using lots of stamp sets to where I can stamp them all over and kind of make a fun little, like background type of cork embellishment rather than just like a word, because the first ones obviously I did some phrases and words, but here I'm trying really hard to use up different products. I used a roller date stamp there. I'm using some mini stamps, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm using some little bitty heart stamps that I have in my stash, and a lot of times some stamps you're not really sure what to use or how to use them because they're either really tiny or you just haven't found a use. And so this is like, I don't think I've ever used that stamp that says my fave there, and I just used it for this because I felt like I never use it. I'm going to pull it out, and I could definitely see myself using that now that it's on top of a cork piece. I'm going to pull a little bitty tiny heart and just stamp all over this piece here. And then I'm going to do the same one with this other little piece. I think that one might be 3/4 of an inch. I probably need to invest in some more, or some, I guess, better quality punches, like maybe Fiskars, because of the ones that I have, most of the ones that I have that are like circular are from like Hobby Lobby or Michaels, which they've kind of lost their sharpness. So I'm not really sure how you sharpen those. So if you know, leave in the comments below. I had a hard time getting that one. I think it's probably about a 1-inch punch. I had a hard time getting that through, like just to place it on, like, or on the cork where I wanted it. I'm not really sure why. The other circular punches I didn't have that much of a problem with, but one I do end up going back and trimming it myself. But for the most part, I was able to kind of make its way, or try to force it, I guess, into punching it. And then I'm going to do the same with these other ones. So the reason I stamped these out first was because I knew that it would probably be easier to line up the punches rather than trying to get them, or it's easier to get them centered that way rather than punching and then trying to stamp. But with the other ones, it didn't really matter because I was using different stamp sets to stamp all over the actual piece. So I didn't have to worry about getting anything centered. And this is the final product. I am gonna, for the final photos, I did trim off the adhesive or the backing so that you guys can get a better feel for what they really look like. But I just love the way these turned out, and I hope you do too. And you could create tons. I mean, this took me about 20 minutes, I would say, maybe a little less. And you get really neat embellishments for your projects. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know if you have any questions. Have a great week.